Everyone, welcome and thank you so much for joining me, Legally Techie Google Docs crash course for legal professionals. Today we're going to go ahead and navigate Google Docs fundamental features and functions, which allows you to be more efficient and stay on top of communications with your client and also those within your firm. This is great for those who are accustomed to Microsoft Word and now maybe using Google Docs in their firm. So to go ahead and get started, here's a little bit about me being the founder of Legally Techie, where we really enjoy enabling lawyers and their boutique firms and solo firms be able to maximize their Google Workspace through specialized services and training. So that's about it. Enough about me. So this is our agenda for today. We're going to go over these three main sections of Google Docs, and in each of these sections, we will only focus on 4 to 5 different features or functionalities. I would love if you can follow along maybe in another window or page, and as we discuss each area, you can go ahead and pause and try to practice it yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. So you have your doc open. This right here is a Google Doc. So we're not working on a Word doc. Of course, if you are working on a Word doc, you would know by this simple symbol right here where it says docs. So that's how you would know if you're working on a Word doc. But since we're talking about Google Docs, we're going to do just that. So starting with our agenda, as mentioned, the top ribbon bar, you have the first button being File. So of course, we're not going to go through everything, but I do want to mention some different features and functions. So the first one is email. This one probably is the most underused function, but I really love it because depending on how you want to share your documents, this is a great option if you don't necessarily want to have the receiver be an editor, a viewer, or commenter. You just want to share a flat document with them. You can go ahead and do that. So when you click on email this file, you get the option to email it as a PDF, even a Word, and so forth. You can send yourself a copy and write a message. Only issue with this is if you do send it from here, I found that I do not see the message in my sent inbox. So definitely be a good idea to send yourself a copy if you want to have record that you did email this file. So that's a great option. Again, if you want to just email a flat document, you don't need collaboration, you can do just that. So just going back to the menu, the other option we have is download as. And again, you can easily just change the format of your Word document. You can download it as a PDF, as a Word, and so forth. But again, you may not need to download as a PDF. If you want to just email it as a PDF, you can do that in the email tab right here. So going back to downloads, another feature I want to bring to your attention is approvals. Here, if you're having to go back and forth, maybe with your paralegal or maybe with your draft attorney, you can do just that with the approvals. So you can make approval requests to that user and they will get the alert and so forth. And again, we have a video on that. So this is not a tutorial on every settings. So we do have videos on that already, but I just want to bring to your attention of this functionality. So you can make a request. Going back to files, we also have our labels. So here, if you are using labels in your firm, you can do that. We don't have much labels used in this organization, but again, you can have confidential, whatever the case may be for your labels. And last but not least, a famous version history. Who doesn't love a good version history? So here you can just see all your version histories. You can make a copy of it. You can name that version. Again, we have a video more detail about that, but here you can quickly just go back to the original version and make a copy of it and, without having to click the undo button 5 million times. So that's the file area. Of course, you can always pause the video, go ahead and try to download or email as and see for yourself how it works. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next button. So just edit is exactly what it is. You can undo, copy, paste, paste without formatting. Most of these are just shortcuts that you can find and replace. Now we're going to move to view. The one thing I do want to mention is the full screen option, which is really great if you are sharing a screen with your clients and you don't necessarily want them to see your bookmarks or even the ribbon bar, just a document. You can go ahead and put it on full screen. And just like that, you can share your screen with your client and they'll be able to just see the document like this. Nice, clean, no distractions, and they can go ahead and just focus on the main thing at hand. So now with insert, you have the function to add or insert different things. Again, we're not going to go into every single one, but I do want to bring into attention to some. So I really like inserting a horizontal line, really just giving you an ability to separate the next idea that's coming. So just show you what that looks like within this document. So if we were to insert a horizontal line, it will look like that. And that way you can continue typing. So that's one thing I wanted to show. Also too, if we go to our smart chips, here you can reference people, the file, calendar, events, and now even places. And I don't have a video on this yet, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you quickly what that looks like. So if we go to people, you can go ahead, again, you have everyone that's in your contact or recently mentioned or emailed. Then you also have a file. So you can go ahead and search up files and reference it. Looks like that. If you insert a person, I'm going to go ahead and add myself. It looks like that. If we were to insert calendar event, you can go ahead and do that. Insert. And then if you wanted to insert a place, you have the option to do just that too. So, of course, you can look up the courthouse. So, as you can see, as you're typing, it's automatically filling places in, even giving you certain addresses. And it's a quick reference or link you can actively just add and takes you just there. If you have an email, you can quickly just email them, send them a message, and so forth. And if you have the document and if you have access to it, you can go ahead and access it that way. So really cool smart chips within the Google Docs. The same too, adding a drop down. You can go ahead and add drop downs and different options for those drop downs so that, again, you can have a more collaborative document with those in your firm. And then we're going to also go back into being able to have building blocks. Kind of have a video on this already, but you can go ahead and have your meeting notes, email draft, and so forth. So you won't necessarily use the building blocks for maybe a notice like this or a motion template, but if you're starting a doc from scratch or collaborative document, you can use these building blocks. Then you also have the watermark. So here you can add your logo for your firm and do just that and let it fade and so forth. Again, we have a tutorial on that already. And you also have the ability to add emoji reaction. So depending on where your cursor is, you can add an emoji reaction there and just put a smiley face and so forth. And I'm going to show you another quicker way once we get to the section 3. So that's just that. Click it again and it's gone. Moving on now to format, I want to go ahead and talk about align and indent. You can go ahead and decrease or increase your indentation. And I do know most legal documents use double spacing for most of their body text, so you can do just that with your indentation as well, under spacing and double. Also, too, if you need to have your page numbered, you can do that. And then also if you need to change your page orientation, you can do that as well. Now moving over to our tools, we're going to go ahead and just focus on some again. We have our word count. So if you need to know how many words you're currently using, you can do just that. Also, too, you can compare documents. So if you have another document you're working on or that looks like it's similar, you can go ahead and see, make comparison. Or if there were changes to a contract, you can go ahead and compare the documents there. So this feature may not be available for those using a free Gmail, but this option is available for the business accounts. So you can compare documents. Another thing you can do is, as mentioned before, you can assign a task. So assign a task, you can assign it to your paralegal for them to follow up on this document, whatever the case may be. Another one that may be really great, maybe if you're an immigration attorney, is translating documents. So if you quickly need to translate a document, you can do just that. Of course, giving based on Google Translate, there are some errors at times, but at least you can quickly translate it. And then if you are a native speaker, whatever the case may be, you can make adjustments or the client can get an idea of what's being said. We also have voice typing, which allows you to do just that, typing without using your keyboard. Don't recommend it if you are driving, but if your hands are a bit occupied, you do have the option to voice type. Then another option you have is your notification settings, which we do have a video on that already. Now, another one I want to bring to your attention is preferences, then substitutions. Again, I have a video talking about this, but as you can see, here are different statures we have, and then we quickly were able to spell it out based on what I mentioned the substitution is. So not having to type out everything completely, you can go ahead and just put in these little keywords and it will fill in the rest of the blanks. Really good, helping you save time. And then last but not least, we're going to go to our extensions, and then we have our add-ons, and we can get our add-ons there. So let me know in the comments, what add-on are you using within your law firm? I would love to know if you're using maybe DocuSign, HelloSign, whatever the case may be, to make sure you are collaborating with your clients. Do keep in mind, when you do add an add-on, please look at their security settings to see what exactly are they going to have access to within your law firm. And then right under that, you have also some most common tools and functions. So the same kind of what's already there, but one or two things that are different are the format paint. So which is very similar to when you are using it with Word format paint. This is called paint format. And then also too, if you have a certain style, so if you want to use Times Roman, whatever the case may be, change the heading and the font, you can go ahead and have that done and then make it your default, so you don't have to keep changing it, or save as my default style. So you can do just that when working on legal documents. And then another option you may see is your editing. So you can have the editing mode, you can be in suggestion mode, so you're not making changes, you're just suggesting, or you can just have viewing mode. As you can see, it's a bit different. And this is what you usually want your clients to just see, have viewer access, not really making changes to your legal documents. So that's our main ribbon menu there. Again, just a quick overview. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. But let me know, did you learn anything new, or is there some new things you weren't aware that Google Docs did? I would love to know. Now moving on to another side is our collaboration corner, I like to call it, because here you get to see some of the activity dashboard with those within your firm. So you can see when was the document last viewed with those that are shared with, and also those within the organization. You can also see the commenter trend, viewer trend, the sharing history, and so forth. Also, too, if another user was to be working on the document at the same time, you can quickly click on the user and chat within that document. That way, you can just keep the communication without having to open up an email. You can do just that. And then you also have the comments. So We're going to talk a little bit more about adding comments and how it's more quicker than clicking this button here. And then you have your present, so you can go ahead and present these documents in a meeting very easily. And then you have your sharing. So again, we want to, as we mentioned in our Google Drive course, these are specific users, and this is the general global way we want people to, access the document. And you do have some additional settings, like you don't want editors and viewers to be able to download or print. So we will uncheck that. And then we also may not want the people who have editor access to change the permissions and share. Maybe just want them to edit and that's it, and not really change anything. So you would uncheck that. And you click done and the settings are saved. So that's our first area, this little ribbon bar area, which is what we usually use when working on Google Docs. Now moving on to our quick access. Again, very similar to the same format of Gmail and also our Google Drive. You have your docs. You have your calendar. You also have your keep. You also have your task, contacts, and also Google Maps. And again, here's where you can add on your other add-ons. And then going to our main area, last but not least, most of what is here is also, up in our ribbon bar, but I'm going to mention maybe some 2 or 3 things that may not be in our ribbon bar and also quicker to do. So if you ever want to leave a comment, here's where you have the option to do just that. So you can go ahead and leave a comment if you wanted to right there, make adjustments to it. Again, we have a video, a little bit about this. You can add the plus sign or add the @ sign if you want to assign it to someone for them to look at it and be responsible for making sure it's done. Also, too, you have the ability to add emoji reactions. So we kind of spoke about that earlier. And then we also can quickly just change it to suggesting view. So here we can make suggestions on what should be done. And if you highlight anywhere within the Google Doc, you can right click and then you can show editor. So you can see who made the changes and when they made the changes as well. So another one here, show editor, and it shows you all the editors. So basically that's a nice overview of Google Docs. This template, if you do want it, I will put it in the description down below. You can make a copy of it to your drive and edit it and make as much changes as you want as you work on it within your firm. So to wrap up this training, again, I want to thank you all so much for coming. It was really nice spending these couple of minutes with you all, learning more about Google Docs for your law firm. And if you ever want to get in contact with me, the information is down below. And I'd like to have a conversation with you as well on how exactly we can maximize how you're using Google Workspace. And also feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn and Twitter and also Instagram, as there's multiple ways you can also get in touch with us. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a great night.